Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is December 1st, 2014. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday and a enjoyable weekend. Let's take a look at a couple of things before the market we open for trading this morning. First of all, let's take a look at the crude oil future. Right now, crude oil is down about 55 cents and it's holding above that 64.95 level here on support. Although earlier it was down much more than that, and it went to that level, but right now it seems to be holding above this 64.95, and this level going back all the way to 2009. Essentially, it's the back in August and August September timeframe we see this level here at this 64.95, and if it can't hold that level, the next potential support level is somewhere around this 54.66, and the low back in 2009 is essentially at 33.20. So we essentially going to be watching this 64.95 to see how it hold up. And if it can't hold this 64.95, then we probably will see it work itself down to possibly test this 54.66 level here. Okay. And then also we are looking at the gold future. The gold future seems to be making a slow way back up. We had Switzerland had a referendum on voting for the gold reserve holding, and that appeared to be a no. So it kind of sold off after that, that decision was, came out, and right now it's working itself back up, and we're essentially looking at this 1178, 1179, because it broke through this level here, and worked itself up to this 1207, and then kind of pulled back and we fell below this 1178, 1179 level. So right now it's trying to get back up about this 1178. If it could get back above this 1178, 79 area, then we have to see could it take out this 1207, 1208. And if it could, then we're basically looking at maybe the next level somewhere about this 1255, 1256. So, and if it can't get back above that level, we're probably looking at to see, a retest of this low here, probably around this 1130. Now, looking at the market here on the Dow Jones 30, we see the Dow Jones 30, we got this engulfing candle. Last week, the trading, all four trading days seems to be engulfed by this candle here. So right now, we're essentially looking for it to either break on the upside or on the downside on this engulfing candle. If it could break through to a new all-time high, then probably see a little bit more upside. But if it break below this 17,721, we could see a little bit of a pullback and maybe test this level of 17,604, somewhere around this 20 EMA for short near-term support. And then if it can't hold the support, then ultimately we probably could see it come back down to this level here and retest this 17,280 area. And also with the S&P 500, S&P 500, we got a little bit of an outside candle here on Friday, kind of engulfing this little bit of a, little candle here. And again, we're essentially looking for it to either break on the upside or the downside on this candle. If it could break above this 2076, then we'll probably see a little bit more run on the upside. But if we break below this 2065, we probably could see a little bit of a pullback and come back down and possibly trying to test for support near this 2040 area, also near this 20 EMA. And if can't hold that support, then we'll probably look for it to come back down and retest this 2010. And on the NASDAQ 100, you see that NASDAQ 100 got a little bit of a spinning top here. And this candle, is important to see how it opened. If it opened below the close of last Friday, and if we close down, that could set up a price pattern, candle price pattern of evening star type of pattern, and that could, trigger a little bit of a pullback and possibly get down and trying to find support near this 42 level. And if that can't hold that level, then we'll probably look at, possibility of coming down and find some support here at this 4107. And the Russell 2000, if you look at this candle here on Tuesday, you got this engulfing candle. And then on Wednesday, it kind of got this inside candle here. And it broke through this low here on this engulfing candle last Friday. And for a shortened day, it's pretty weak for Russell 2000 to be down this much. So right now we're basically looking for the Russell to possibly work itself down and test for support here somewhere around this 1152. And if it can't hold this 1152, essentially close to this 200-day moving average, then we probably could see it to work itself back up, back down to retest this 1107 level here for possible support. Okay. So then let's take a look at Apple. The stock been running pretty strong recently. And again, we see there's a little bit of a hangman on Friday with an inside candle on Wednesday. And here's an engulfing candle on Tuesday. So right now we're essentially looking for the directional break of this engulfing candle. If it could break about this, 119.75, then Apple might, work itself up to that 120 plus level. But if it can't hold that, break above that level and it break down below this 117.45, we could see Apple work itself down and possibly get down to this 110, 109 level and, maybe test for support here. Then on Alibaba, we see this big run up here to make a new high at 120 and then pull back. Found a little bit of support at this 107. And then we got a little bounce and encountered some resistance somewhere around this 115. So right now it's pulling back and try to hold this supporting trend line here. If it cannot work itself back above this 115 level, then we'll probably see it to come down and retest this 107. And if it can't hold this 107, essentially it could conceivably come back down and retest this IPO high somewhere around this 99.70. And on Facebook has also been holding up against this trend line here that we were looking at. And right now it's getting back above this 76 level, this 76 level here. And, it's trying to fill out this gap. If we could fill this gap and get above this 79.57, then there's a good possibility it might come back up and retest this, all-time high and maybe even put in a new all-time high. But if it can't hold this 76, 74 and then, pull back again, then this trend line will be in play again. And if it breaks through this trend line, we're looking for it to come back down and retest this 71.29. And then on Twitter is kind of holding, holding this 39 area, this 38.80. And it came down and, actually, close above this low here, which is a good sign. And also we got a little bit of a coiling effect here within this engulfing candle. Right? And on Wednesday, it actually broke through that high, this engulfing candle 40.55. So right now we're essentially looking for it to work itself back up to this 42.95. It could get above this 42.95, then maybe we could come up and fill this gap here and possibly get back up to this 47. But if it can't get above that 43 level, then I'm looking for this thing to come back down and retest this 38.81. Then if it failed that support, then we'll probably look at to come back down to somewhere around this 35 area. And on Amazon, we were essentially looking for this, descending triangle with a base down here somewhere around 284, and looking for it to break this trend line here and break out of this descending triangle. And you can see on last week, it actually found a broke through on Friday. You can see this little bit of engulfing doji here on this little bit of an inside doji. And when it broke through this 336.33 on Friday, it's kind of making itself up to maybe work itself up at this 349, 350 area. Okay, so kind of keeping an eye to see any kind of follow through on Amazon, or is this just a little bit of a fake out? Then on Netflix, ever since this earning gap, we see Netflix kind of try to hold, let me, so it's trying to hold this 331 level. Okay, and then work back up and came up to this 395, 396. Then it's sort of have a little bit of a support area here, somewhere around this 376, 377. And it finally broke through that, broke down and come down and failed to hold this 355. So right now it's trying to get back up and reclaim this 355. And if it cannot reclaim this 355, I'm looking for Netflix to come down and retest this 331. Even though if it could get back above that 355, it still have to contend with this 377 resistance level. So it could, make a run at this 377 and then pull back, have another leg down. But I think right now I'm still kind of looking at this 331 as a key level for it to test. So in regardless, it's just going to break down to this 331 and come up and test this 377. So it's all depend, how it will react when it get back up at this 377. If it did, I mean, if it does, come up above this 355. Okay. Then on Google, also Google has been kind of weak. If you look at this, on a little bit of a bigger time frame, we see this lower high here, right? And it came down, although, on this last dip, it held above this 511 and tried to make itself back up. But again, it kind of encountered some resistance here, at this 569 level when it bounced off at this 518. And it's kind of, forming this little bit of a trend line and kind of hugging this trend line, although it's trying to break it. Right now, again, it's trying to break above this trend line and looking at this 552, this pivot high here. And if we could break above this 552.50, then there might be a possibility of work itself up to this 562. But if cannot, then we'll probably look at for it to come back down to this 539 and try to test that for support. And if break that 539, you could see it work itself back down to this 518. And on Tesla, again, we're also looking at this particular trend line on Tesla, kind of holding on this trend line here. And it seems to be working itself, trying to work itself back up to this 265, 267 level. If we take a closer look here, it came down and holding this trend line and kind of filled this gap here, and it found some resistance at this, near the 260 level, and it kind of pulled back. So right now it's testing this particular support level at this 242, 243 area. If we could get back up above this 260, then we probably could see it retest this 266, 265, 266 level. But if it can't hold this 242, then look for this 230, this basically this trend line here. Break below this trend line, it could easily come back down and retest this 217. Then finally on GoPro, we are basically looking at the possibility of breaking through this inverted head and shoulder pattern and work itself up to a new high here above this 98.47. So it was unable to break through this inverted head and shoulder. As a matter of fact, it reversed itself and kind of broken down here with a gap down and, kind of holding this trend line here. And if it could, hold above this 70, 72 level, that would be a positive. But right now, it essentially has to work itself up and break above this 86. So essentially, we're working on either a descending triangle or a wedge. Okay, so again, the level that we're watching is essentially on the upside. You have to break about the 86. If it could break about that 86, then we could look at it, look for GoPro, try to work, up to this previous high and maybe put in a new high. But if we break below this 70, 72, then we're probably looking at for it come down to 64 and retest this 64 level. And if can't hold that 64 level, essentially, you'll probably looking at it to come back down to maybe possibly retest this level somewhere near this $50 area. So that's basically a quick look at a couple of the commodity and the market and a few of the stock. So hopefully you will have a profitable trading day today and the rest of the week. Good luck.